Hello everyone, welcome back, and we join Frank in a different type of quest. Welcome to the completely new mode of Dead Rising that is called Sandbox mode, which is basically what Dead Rising's always need, to be honest. It basically went around with no thread of time. See, the one thing that most people who hate Dead Rising bitch about is that it's a time management game. It's a game of managing your time, saving people, doing the main story, and perfecting the path of doing it. It's essentially a similar thing that attracts people to like Demon Souls and Dark Souls. It's a form of perfection. But in Demon Souls and Dark Souls, there's a lot more investment into that than there is in Dead Rising. So anyway, I figured this would be a better way to explain some of the things instead of doing it in the normal story mode, because of basically, it's on a timer. So I thought it'd be a little easier to talk about this. So I got some basic stuff here. We're going to want this baseball bat. Now, something you want to take advantage, because, obviously, where you see is, this is your main base there where you're going to take survivals and that. So this is going to be a pathway you're going to come across very commonly, and something very basic. Now, I have the key to the maintenance. Now, to get this key, you're going to get it when you return from getting your first dose of Zombax, and after that you'll keep the key even in your new game. Well, you'll basically shouldn't have it, but you will. So I'm leveled up in that, and mainly I wanted to level up some because it's really hard. Maybe it is. But it's really hard to start Dead Rising at level 1. I highly recommend at least being 5 or 10 before you seriously want to do the storyline, unless you're really wanting to challenge yourself. So anyway, you can always, every time you load this map, there's always a box of nails, and there's also a baseball bat, so you don't necessarily have to grab that one. But if you have extra slots, but I don't have extra slots. Baseball nail bat is pretty useful. I don't think there was anything else useful in this one, was there? Power drill, flashlight. You can use the flashlight for some future things. You can make a lightsaber out of that. I think you need gems. Oh, and that's something else I need to explain. Combo cards. You either can randomly try to put shit together, or find them, or be rewarded them. Now, scratch cards, let's see. Yeah, this is a normal card. This is a scratch card. Now, scratch cards you haven't, properly earned, but you can still make them. Properly earned cards, you get extra PP, as you can see there. You get the 2 times PP. So, if you're trying to get a lot of PP, that's something you want to keep in mind. But anyway, yeah. So I want to explain a few things, and I'm going to get rid of this. So, now you'll notice there's a lot of fire extinguishers. You got this one, and I believe there's what is it? Yeah, one right there, and I believe there's also one in the survival room. So, what you can do with the fire extinguisher, interestingly, is, crap. I'm not used to having the camera again. I'm used to it being gone. Not that I want it to be gone, but anyway. When you got zombies, you can spray them with it. And once sprayed, they become ice. Now, why that can be useful, and these are just my personal little 2 cents. Now, this ain't useful for your own personal benefit, but it's useful when you have survivals. Because what's interesting is that this doesn't hurt the survivals. They'll just stand there like nothing's happening. So if you're in a big group of zombies, you can pull this out and protect your survivals by freezing all the nearby zombies and then try to basically figure out a place of, let's say there's a giant crowd there and mess up, and you can freeze them all and then get everyone in here, regroup. They do eventually thaw out if you don't kill them, so keep that in mind. So that's something to keep in mind there. Now, there are a lot of weapons. If you've never played Dead Rising, there are tons of weapons. And I like to categorize them in 3 different ways. There are useful, not useful, and there's kinda screwing around with the zombie. Well, how to categorize it? Basically, make pathway, you could say. It's not something per se you want to keep with you, but it's useful for getting stuff away from you. Kind of like what I was just showing you. So anyway, usually sharp implements are obviously usually good touches. But anyway, now right over there was the door we came out of. I'm going to show you a store that I made a lot of use of when I first played the original Dead Rising 2. In this store, you'll find those 2 tomahawks, there's a spear, and if you want to mess around with a bow and arrow, I didn't like the bow and arrow much myself, but it's a beginning range. Now, see these guys with blue shorts with yellow sleeves? They have knives on them. And knives is a nice, a basic knife is a useful beginning weapon. Basically anything that's a cutting item is pretty useful. But usually it's not as easy. Now, if you're new to Dead Rising, you would probably think guns are awesome in the game. Well, guns are kind of a mixed bag. They don't work as good. See, look, there's a giant thing of zombies. Now, that's the auto aim. That's the manual aim. Yeah, you would think the shotgun would be tearing them up a lot. Now, guns aren't useless, but they're not how you would think they would work after a lot of games. Now, here's a useful item here for paths. Carts, wheelchairs, they're useful for paths. But here's a tip though. See, like there. Try to avoid zombies, because these kind of items, they don't have long durability. Watch, I'm gonna run into a whole hell lot of zombies, and its durability is gonna go. And it's not good for killing. Yeah, see, it's flashing red. It's gonna break soon. So you don't really want to target the largest groups of zombies, but zombies in the way, nevertheless, you want to use to knock them down. Now, over here is where you're going to get the zombie axe in the first mission, and I want to show it to you because it can make a useful close station for some good food. Orange juice, coffee, well, not regular coffee, but, orange juice, milk. Alcohol can be good for healing too, but the problem with alcohol is that if you drink too much, it'll give you a status effect of being drunk, and it's harder to control your character. I liked using orange juice, and the pharmacy key you get in the story. Apparently, you get to keep it for this mode, I guess, or maybe you start with it. Don't know, not 100%. But yeah, this wasn't in the original Dead Rising. This sandbox mode. Most things, I've only seen a few things that don't seem to match up with the original Dead Rising 2 or what I've explored off the record so far. But overall, it seems pretty much everything is where it would be in the normal story. So, I would actually highly recommend starting in sandbox mode, just to learn the controls, the layout of some of the mall. And you can also practice fighting survivors. Well, not survivors, but I mean like psychopaths. But all the survivors in here, or you can't save them. They're out to kill you in this mode, so there's no one to save in sandbox mode. But there's lots of people to save in the story mode. But it's good practice for fighting, and that you can get some levels, and all your cash and levels carry over to your story. So it's a pretty good way to practice, and there's just tons of stuff. See, like, you got baseball bats and that. A hanger, that's an awful weapon. See, this game lets you grab all kinds of shit, and it's just so random whether you're gonna find something useful. Like a golf club, you think would be useful, but not all the way. Now, it's interesting because it basically will hit zombies, but it's not the best thing in the world. Now, see, if you want to manually aim the shots, you would use this. Bam bam. But yeah, if you have something like a gun or that, like this. Come on, let me in. Oh, and also keep a whale. Like, take this mannequin for example. So when items break into pieces that you can use. And you can do interesting things with different ones. Ooh, that has to hurt. Yeah, each part acts a little differently. So, you mainly want to test around a lot. There's useful things. Like, I don't remember this being in the Dead Rising 2. I found it in one of the gambling areas backstage of stage. It's like a wooden sword and a pop shield, and it's not too bad to be honest. It's not perfect for killing, but because of how he wields the shield, it's good for oh, get off me! It's good for basically kind of making some space. See, awesome, I like that. Sadly, it doesn't last too long, but I like it. Now, you can move shooting guns, but there's no real aim. There is an auto-aim feature that happens when you're facing zombies and you hit it. Frank will basically point it at the closest zombie to him. Now, trash cans can be useful in desperate times. Because usually when you get a trash can open, there can be multiple slight goodies. Now, basically, there can be usually a handgun, a knife, or some snacks. And Dead Rising 2 introduced bad food. If you see like a green hot dog or hamburger, don't get it. It'll make you sick. I mean, if you're really desperate for health, it will heal you. But similar to alcohol, it'll give you a sick status effect where you'll randomly start vomiting and shit. It's pretty bad. Garbage burger. Fuzzy pickles. Now, I want to show you basically one more big thing. Now, you can do this in story mode or in the sandbox mode. And to be honest, I'm really surprised they left this in sandbox mode, because this was so abusive in the original Dead Rising 2. Now, you see, this is the casino area, and you can gamble in these. Now, where is it? It's somewhere around here. Let's see. Oh, and in case you were wondering where I got those one things, I found these are pretty good for killing. I don't remember if they were in the original 2, but if they were, I'm not sure if they work the same either. Like, I know there were some item changes. Like, I liked the 2x4s in the original Dead Rising. Dead Rising 2, not so much. But these things work pretty good here. Now, where is it? I know it's somewhere in... I'm pretty sure it's located in 2 casinos. There it is. The glowing green box. Guff. You may notice I jump a lot. You can usually get through... now, this costs 100. And you can hit X multiple times. And it's quite easy to make back your 100 easy. And you can get up there pretty good. Now, the reason this is pretty useful is in 2 ways. If you got a turbo controller... Now... That way being very useful is either whether you have a lot of time or a turbo control. If you got a turbo control, you can basically make about like $4,000 something out of that. And then there's also gambling books that increase how much money you get from gambling. And you can use those to increase your winnings if you feel it's not fast enough. 4,000, pretty good in my opinion. Now, if you don't have a turbo control or the patience, I can't remember off the top of my head, there was a particular, and that's only assuming it's remotely the same like Dead Rising 2, but there was a particular slot machine kind of like that big heart one I went by. It's on a wall. I can't remember. It might have been that big heart one. But, there's one that has a really good payout if you play it multiple times and that. And with all the books, it supposedly gave you a whole bunch or something like that. And you're probably wondering, what is the use of money if you've played only Dead Rising 1? Well, there's pawn shops in Dead Rising 2 and Off the Record. These scavengers and shit had basically made valuable things, but they charged money for them. So you can't simply just like, oh, I want the giant screw gun launching device. You'll have to pay for it if you want. So, not so simple though. Now, in this sandbox mode, there's these stars in the challenge modes. They're pretty interesting. Yeah, these are very useful for making straight pathways with survivals. But be careful, you crash, boom. Screws up all your effort there. Gotta have some good coordination or you'll die. Now, let's see. Is there anything else I want to show around here? Yikes. Goodbye, excuse me. I don't think there's generally anything else in particular I want to really show. Those are just some quick little tips for your area. I would really use the sandbox mode to kind of look around. There's a lot of environments, and getting familiar with your environment is very useful. Oh, snack machines, you can pay for snacks, which is something different from Dead Rising 1, in case you haven't played 2 yet. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. Next time, basically I'll be continuing the story mode. Well, I'll show off what I think's a good way to whack up some PvP in the story mode real quick. But I'll be just continuing the story from this level, basically. I won't be... I might play more sandbox mode here and there randomly, but overall I'm not going to really grind anymore. I'm pretty satisfied with 10, and the only reason I'm 12 is because I was trying out the online co-op in other people's story modes and that. Which I'm not really sure if the PS3's just not very lively community, because, you know, it's not a brand new game, you know, it's been out for a while. I think it's been out since the last time I went to New York, I think. That was quite a while ago, actually, when I think about it. Whew. But, yeah, the next episode should be quite interesting. I'm gonna try do something that's usually pretty hard to do when you're straight out new with no levels. It's pretty difficult to do what I'm gonna do, but yeah, I'll see you all in the next episode, and oh deal. Yeah, remember this room, ironically, this is where I'm gonna be going in the story mode soon. Oh, and these torches are kinda interesting. I don't remember them working the way they do in Off the Record, but they're not too bad. They burn, but they don't really kill too easily. Usually takes about 2 hits. But anyway, I keep doing... somebody in a swimsuit thing. Run away! I'll see you all next time. Well, Fight West has to take on Dawn of the Dead. See you there. Or be dead.